Every hero in Deadlock has a story, but you probably don't know most of them, and you definitely don't have time to read through all of Deadlock's lore, so I did it for you. This is the lore of every hero in Deadlock in under 30 seconds each. This list will be in alphabetical order and there will be timestamps in the description. No filler, no wasted time, let's get into it at the top of the list. The first hero is Abrams. Abrams is a detective and has been a fixture on the New York investigating scene for years. Outside of his case with the Tomb, which is the book that he carries around, Abrams has also been investigating the Paradox Organization, which is a guild of thieves who want to show the world that there's nothing they can't steal. He also once worked alongside Venator on a case in the past. Apollo is best known as being a fencer. He is currently 18 years old and is referred to as the Prince of Ixia. Apollo was taught fencing at a young age, having learned how to riposte when he was only 5 years old. Apollo inherited his sword from his father, and he seems to be a fencing champion, and hopes to one day represent Ixia at the Olympics. Everyone's favorite robot, Bebop, was forged by the hands of a widowed junkyard attendant named Miss Shelley, and was created with access to his own free will. In the present day, Bebop's creator Miss Shelley has fallen ill, and his wish in the ritual is to cure Miss Shelley of her illness. Billy has an interesting backstory. Billy actually got his goat head by using eldritch powers and black magic. He implies he turned his head into a goat for a very specific reason. Billy enjoys rioting and looting in New York, but despite being an anarchist, Billy still pays his taxes. Calico is a former member of the Baxter Society, and the Baxter Society is a well-known international monster hunting organization. Members of the Baxter Society don't get paid to hunt down monsters, and that lack of payment is why Calico is no longer a member and is now a solo assassin. Celeste is of course a unicorn, but her existence is often questioned by skeptics who don't believe unicorns are real. Some of them actually believe that her horn is fake and she just glued it to her head. Only her closest friends know her true identity. And in the past, the Paradox Organization has tried to steal Celeste's horn. The Doorman might have the most interesting lore on this list. He often refers to himself as a fledgling god and is sometimes called a cosmic being. The Doorman is not Doorman's real name, but one he uses to keep himself grounded to remind himself that he's here to serve and not to rule. The Doorman claims to be able to see the future, and currently the OSIC seem to be aware of the Doorman's true nature, as they consider Doorman participating in the ritual as overstepping. The Drifter has lived for centuries, but he refers to New York as New Amsterdam, which implies that he's been around since at least 1665. Unlike the other heroes, Drifter isn't participating in the ritual for a wish, but instead for the carnage. He views the wish as a bonus. On the flip side, Dynamo's motivation to complete the ritual is to get his human body back. Dynamo actually lost his body 50 years before the ritual, during the first Maelstrom. Dynamo is married to a woman named Marla, and they've been married for 31 years. The first thing that Dynamo intends to do once he gets his body back is to, quote, give Marla a hug and not let go for about 3 months. Graves is a student at Blackmore Academy, and she actually shares classes with Apollo. Her age has not been confirmed, but we can assume that she's around the same age as Apollo. According to the patrons, Graves works tirelessly to honor the dead and grant them peace. She considers her role as a voice for the dead as an honor. Grey Talon is a founding member of the Baxter Society. He is known to be very dangerous, having the most confirmed kills out of everyone in the Baxter Society. Grey Talon is now retired, but still heavily respected by the Society. His dedication to the Society has resulted in books being made about his life, and earning him a reputation as a legend. Haze, on the other hand, works for the OSIC, which is the Occult Security and Investigation Commission, a secretive black box United States government organization that specializes in keeping the country safe from sinister and supernatural forces. Haze acknowledges that the OSIC is flawed, but in her eyes, the ends justify the means. Holliday is the granddaughter of Wild West gunslinger Doc Holliday. Her main weapon, the revolver, actually belonged to her grandfather and is seen as a family heirloom. Holliday is a vigilant law enforcer and takes her job seriously. The OSIC have a file on her where she's portrayed as competent. Infernus is a bartender and works at Jezebel's billiards hall. Jezebel's was an old church that was renovated into a billiards hall and bar. Infernus is a second-generation Ixian immigrant, but doesn't know how to speak Ixian because his parents only ever spoke English around him. Ivy has been alive for 20 years. She doesn't know who created her, and she is often referred to as the savior of Spanish Harlem. Ivy is actually adopted, and she was adopted by the Arroyos family. So her main goal in participating in the ritual is to keep Spanish Harlem safe and make life better for the Arroyos. Kelvin's ice abilities were created with a mix of science and magic, but they seem to be unrelated to his glowing rock or undead condition. Kelvin is consistently called an ice wight due to his undead state, but he views this as a gift. Kelvin hasn't taken off his parka since the expedition, just in case the glowing rock strapped to his body is the only thing keeping him alive. After the Maelstrom, the Oathkeeper arrived in New York, and Lady Geist made a pact with this Oathkeeper to regain her youth in exchange for draining the life of others. It's implied that if Lady Geist made her deal with Oathkeeper transparent, she would have been hunted down by the Baxter Society. Lash is a champion of the Bear Pit, an underground arena of blood sport where spectators gamble on matches. This is where his hate for Bebop originates, as Bebop would also frequent the Bear Pit. Lash often refers to himself as the god of combat. McGinnis's first name is Margaret, but she goes by Maggie. She is the head engineer of Fairfax Industries' military R&D department. While it's unknown where McGinnis's inventions have been used, it's said that she may be responsible for millions of deaths. McGinnis's equipment and weaponry is powered by souls. Mina is a graduate from Blackmore Academy, and is now a fashion designer and owns her own clothing brand. She was once Pocket's fiancée, and wanted to become a part of the Fairfax family, but now blames Pocket for ruining her life. Mirage's wish is to help Nashala buy a piece of Wyoming to turn into a home for the Jinn. Mirage is deeply loyal to Nashala and the Jinn's plight. He fights with Nashala by his side since he believes that's the safest place for her. While in New York, Mirage and Nashala are guests at the Baroness Hotel. Mo's real name is Maurice, and he's a mole man, while Krill's species is currently unknown. It's also unknown how the two met, but Krill mentions that their friendship was forged from respect and certain death. Mo and Krill have smuggled a wide variety of objects in the New York tunnels, such as jewels, fine art, and Ixian trinkets. Paige loves reading all kinds of books, having set times of day for different types of books. Aside from real novels, Paige has read books on both Kelvin's adventures and the Baxter Society. Paige often reads to kindergartners, and Doorman once invited her to host a storytelling event at the Baroness Hotel. Paradox gets her name from the Paradox organization, and not much is known about Paradox herself, but she is often nicknamed as the Time Thief. It's implied that Paradox wants to show that she's fit to lead the Paradox organization by completing the ritual. She gave up her identity to join the Paradox organization, and the helmet that she wears can be taken off, as it is just a mask. An assassination was attempted on Pocket at the hands of Calico, which led to the dissolving of their marriage with Mina. Pocket believes their father was behind their attempted assassination, which is why Pocket is currently in hiding from their father. Pocket's ultimate goal is to stop their father and seize control of Fairfax Industries. Rem's exact species is unknown. His age is also unknown, but Rem is heavily implied to be a child. Rem can actually see people's dreams when they're asleep. This allows him to learn information he wouldn't normally know, and Rem's motivation in the ritual is to find a way back to his home. Seven was once imprisoned in the Lost Whisper, which is a dungeon prison for the most dangerous occultists. He escaped from the prison and is now on the run from the OSIC. Seven currently lives in New York's old subway tunnels and often tells Mo and Krill that he has particular needs regarding the creation of new tunnels. Shiv is currently the only remaining member of the Baxter Society and is motivated to prove his worth to Grey Talon. Not much is known about Shiv's criminal past from before he joined the Baxter Society, but the Venators of St. Benedict are keeping an eye on Shiv in case he strays from the path of redemption. Shiv claims that the Baxter Society saved his life, but he still worries that the Baxter Society might eventually turn on him. Silver is a bounty hunter and has been a werewolf for as long as she can remember. Despite this, Silver seems unable to control her transformations due to it triggering automatically in-game without her compliance. Silver tries to take her bounties in alive, although her methods usually end up killing them. She's actually brought Vyper into custody on several occasions and is currently after a bounty on the Troubadour. Sinclair is made up of two different characters, Henry and Savannah. You can tell because they have two different voices. The character is initially controlled by Henry, but then changes to Savannah once Henry dies, and then changes back to Henry when Savannah dies. The body of Sinclair is implied to be a wooden mannequin, rather than an actual organic body that Sinclair is possessing. The name Sinclair is implied to be Henry and Savannah's surname. Venator's real name is Quinn Rourke. He is one of 24 active Venators under Saint Benedict. While there are multiple Venators, they usually work alone, and the Venators of Saint Benedict have a friendly rivalry with the Baxter Society. Venator's mission and motivation in the ritual is to kill the patrons, and he's willing to die to achieve this mission. Victor is entirely made out of dead body parts. It's implied that Victor's physical condition is deteriorating because his left arm keeps falling off. He's been in search for a while but has yet to find the origins of any of his body parts. And because of this, Victor is always in constant pain and is willing to do anything for answers on his origins. Despite her appearance, Vindicta says that she's not a witch, because in her eyes, she doesn't have wants or dreams, only a lust for revenge. Vindicta has been dead for roughly 200 years. She says that she was a child who was unjustly condemned during the Salem witch trials. While being consumed by revenge, Vindicta ultimately sees her actions as her saving life. Viscous is a psychic sea anemone that fears a dark, dangerous predator that prowls the depths underneath the Bermuda Triangle. He reached the surface in a body built from ectoplasmic goo. His mission is to summon the patrons to protect his home in the deep. Viscous is commonly referred to as a tourist, but he hoped that his goo body would cause surface dwellers to take the deep's problems seriously. Vyper is an impulsive outlaw and used to work for the Mendoza Syndicate, which was a crime syndicate located in Spanish Harlem, named after its leader Mendoza. When working for Mendoza, Vyper was caught by Ivy and tried for 13 counts of murder, although Vyper does mention that the actual kill count was way higher. Vyper has a voice line that says that she wants to get married to a rich husband and kill him for the inheritance. Warden is a descendant of a long line of militant alchemists, and it's implied that this bloodline comes from his father's side. Although Warden is committed to protecting humanity at all costs, he does not discriminate against supernatural creatures. Warden hides his true motives from the patrons, despite their telepathic abilities. As such, the patrons likely don't know that Warden is working against their goals. Wraith is a widely known feature of the criminal underworld of New York City, and Wraith often describes herself as a degenerate gambler. She hosts weekly underground poker games and also makes bets on fights in the Bear Pit. Wraith owns a casino which acts as her main base of operations, and the OSIC are aware of Wraith's business, but aren't interested in dismantling it. Yamato is the leader of a Japanese criminal organization called the Seventh Moon. Her real name is Kaori, and the sword that Yamato uses is an ancient heirloom. She inherited it when her predecessor died, and someone else will inherit it when she dies. Yamato's wish in the ritual is to make the Seventh Moon powerful enough to take over New York. And that was every Deadlock hero's lore in 30 seconds each. If I missed anything important for your favorite hero, make sure to drop it in the comments below. And as I say at the end of all of my videos, Deadlock is going to continue to grow in 2026, so make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Deadlock news, updates, or more videos like this. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Later.